Good afternoon, William Rapp here, owner and founder of exclusiveannuities.com. Pleasure to have you guys on the meeting today. Today, I'm going to be doing a product overview on one of our top accumulation products here in the annuity space. If you guys don't know, you can always go to our website, which is exclusiveannuities.com. You can schedule a free consultation with us, an overview session, a second opinion overview call as well. If you were recommended a product that you don't understand or want further insight on professionally, we can do that for you. You can also subscribe to our YouTube. We post consistent value content out to our clients and potential clients to help you make an educated decision on where you would like to place your annuity in your portfolio, which agency and firm you'd like to do your business with. As first and foremost, we always strive to give that value to our clients here at Exclusive Annuities, and we're more than happy to help you and guide you during your retirement journey. We do work with over 65 different annuity carriers here in the nation. We are an independent, non-captive agency and firm as well. And we shop the highest contractual guarantee products for you on the market using proprietary software that is only accessible to agents in our firm. So, exclusiveannuities.com. Check us out anytime. You can also subscribe to our YouTube. My name is William Rapp, owner and president. And that's what we're here to do, serve you. Today, I'll be going over a nice product tutorial overview session on one of our top accumulation products here with Midland National. Midland National is one of our companies that we really go to when it comes to placing clients in high contractual products that have very good background, financial standings, ratings. Midland National is an A+ rated company. I'll jump more into that here in a second. And next thing you can do, guys, you guys can always go to our YouTube right here. Our YouTube is filled with valuable content, product overviews, index annuities, how they fit in your portfolio, annuity intake preview. Like if you're wondering how do these sessions work with William and Exclusive Annuities, you can click right on this video and you can get valuable insight on what to expect on a strategy session with us. And that's pure value, and really exercising strategies, finding solutions for you that make sense. So, Exclusive Annuity Solutions. You can always go to Midland National. We'll scoot over this way now. Midland National is an A+ rated carrier that we use, an ESOP company, employee owned as well. It's another reason we do like Midland National. They've been around since the 1900s, 1906 to be exact. And they have a very, very strong financial portfolio, very good ratings with the AM Best, with Fitch and S&P, right? A+ rated all across the board. Very, very good company, good people that work in the company, long outstanding history of strength and financial security. And we trust them with our business, and that's why we're, an advocate for a series of their products that they have on the market. With today's interest rate environment, we can really shop these contractual guarantees for you and really put you in strong financial positions on the safe income, safe money side, right? When it comes to diversifying in your portfolio. So today, what I'll be discussing with you is an overview on Midland National RetireVantage product, right? This is one, like I said, one of our top products that we use on the accumulation chassis. Like I said, Midland National, very strong financial company. This particular product here is called the Midland National RetireVantage. And we're going to go through that with you today. I'm going to do not a customized report. I'm going to do a general overview on how the product works. So potential for growth, flexibility for the what ifs in retirement, right? So the Midland National RetireVantage product offers multiple index strategies, enhanced crediting methods as well, any growth brought in this annuity is tax deferred, right? If we're talking pre-tax qualified money, tax deferral, income for life, and death benefit would be your full accumulated value that pays out at the time of death, right? And the issue ages are 0 through 79, and the minimum premium is 20,000 for non-qualified or qualified funds. So additional product features here, you do have penalty-free withdrawals of 10% actually starting on year 1. So most companies don't give that free withdrawal provision until year 2. Midland National here, RetireVantage, comes with that year 1. So right away you have liquidity there. You can provide a lasting legacy in the form of the death benefit, accumulating the asset over time. You do have your accumulated value that I'll dive more into here on the illustration software. And you can really structure this a few different ways, this policy, which I'll explain here on the illustration tool here in a second. So you do have your annual point-to-point strategies with the S&P 500, the S&P Mark V, the Fidelity Multi-Factor Yield Index. We really like this one. This is the NASDAQ 100 Volatility Control 12% Index, right? We have the S&P Dynamic Intraday TCA Index, the pure S&P Index, and we have those on a 1-year point-to-point basis and also a 2-year point-to-point basis, right? And you also have what's called your annual inverse performance trigger as well, which is a value proposition we like from Midland National. So with this product, so there's no fees in this product at all. It's a fee-free product. It's an accumulation product. It's a 10-year indexed annuity. And we're going to dive right into it, guys. So welcome to today's call. Like I said, my name is William, founder of exclusiveannuities.com. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube. Make sure that you follow us on Facebook. And also check out our website, if you want to have a free customized report, an actual strategy session where we can go over this with you thoroughly over a one-on-one Zoom call, with me or one of my advisors in my firm, right? So let's jump right into the software here, guys. So first things first, we're going to scoot over to the illustration software, which is shown right here. I'm going to pull up a new illustration here with Midland. And these are the products that we can choose from. I'll just choose the state of New Jersey, right? And like I said, today we're going to be discussing the RetireVantage product. We'll have other videos that come out on the other products. We do like the Income Vantage Pro as well for income. That's a different conversation than this. What this is today, the RetireVantage, this is a pure accumulation type of annuity. There's not a lot of bells and whistles. It has good rates, good accumulation potential. And we're going to do an illustration based off, let's just say a 55-year-old male, right? Next thing we're going to go to, it will keep it as non-qualified funds here, right? We're going to go over to the funding section. First thing you guys want to understand is that this is a flexible premium annuity. So flexible premium annuity means that you can start in the annuity with a certain amount and you're optionally able to put more money into the annuity for up to a 3-year period, which is 36 months. So some companies and products are single premium. Some companies are flexible premium. Here with Midland, it's a flexible premium, 3 years flexibility, right? So you can add more premium in later. And then the next thing I'd like to look at is how we split up the index allocations. And this is 100% customizable as well. Here at Exclusive Annuities, we shop those rates for you based on the product and concept that we look at. And, we're all over it on the index reports, looking at the highest rated rates out currently on the market. And so we'll always put you in index allocations that are most favorable to you, first and foremost. So first allocation we would look at here is the annual point-to-point with participation rate. So there's no caps on these particular strategies that we would look at here. There's what's called participation rates. So this NASDAQ 100 volatility control 12% basically gives you upside exposure to the NASDAQ 100 index, right? So we like to, put 20% in this bucket. The S&P index as well, no cap on the upside. Participation rates do apply. I'll get into that in a second once I pull up the report. We like to put, let's just say 10% in the S&P 500. We don't always use 2-year strategies, but if we do, the same strategy allocations are available on a 1-year and 2-year point-to-point system. The 2-year point-to-points will give you a little higher participation because you're holding out on a 2-year basis to get your credit back to your principal, where the 1-year point-to-points, it's rinse and repeat month to month, year to year from point A to point B. So from the moment your policy's issued to the year after that, 1 year after, whatever that index does point to point is what you'll get a credit for. Your principal increases, right? And then it's rinse and repeat. So you start that process again off that new principal amount. Again, there's zero risk potential in this account. And any fixed index annuity that we show you will have zero loss potential. So if the market goes backwards or the indexes don't return favorably, they get negative years, the worst thing that can happen to this account on a year basis is you would get a 0% credit. So these are designed to protect your principal. Okay. The contractual guarantee in the product is that your principal is protected. Anything on the upside is, in fact, hypothetical to a degree. Yes, they do have good historical performance, and it is calculated on a year-to-year basis. So usually we can expect some returns, but the contractual guarantee is that your principal is protected. So these are growth-oriented accounts, right, where we protect principal, and based on the index allocations that we would use, there's good upside potential per se. So these are the 2-year point-to-point strategies. We don't always use these, but I'll throw it in here in the mix just so we can get a good synopsis of the illustration, how it would pan out. Annual point-to-point, optionally, you could take a fee on the index allocations and get higher participation rates or caps. We usually never go that route. We don't opt in for strategies that have fees in them just because 9 times out of 10 it's not needed. The rates are usually relatively good on the no fee allocation. So we would just skip to allocating to ones with no fee, right? And we also really like what's here, the inverse performance trigger. Okay, so this particular allocation in Midland is an inverse performance trigger on the S&P 500. So the S&P 500, if it does 0 or negative, this portion of your allocation will trigger you up to a 10% return. Okay, it's called an inverse performance trigger. So we like this contract because whether we have a good year or a bad year in the market, we can structure it in a way where you'll get some sort of interest back to your account. So that's the S&P 500 inverse performance trigger. As you see, I'm only going to allocate 5% of the asset to that portion, but we can do that a couple different ways. We like to do exposure to the NASDAQ and then also exposure to the inverse performance trigger. We blend those a lot of the times on our customized reports for clients that actually schedule with us. We show you a couple different strategies that you can implement in a plan like this. But for today, I'm just going to blend the indexes across the board to give you a general synopsis of how this particular product would work on a point-to-point basis, right? So next thing here is I am going to reallocate. You also have your annual point-to-point S&P with a cap, right? And then you also have your inverse performance trigger, like I mentioned. You also have a fixed bucket that you can allocate to as well, which is right here, which as the time of this recording is 3.8%. which you can choose how much of your asset you want to allocate to the fixed bucket, right? So there's diversity in a good blend of NASDAQ, S&P, Fidelity indexes, S&P Mark 5, right? Inverse performance triggers, annual point-to-point with cap, uncapped strategies with S&P 500 participation, fixed account. There's also a monthly point-to-point strategy. So one thing you have to understand, guys, is you can change these every year. So if you do a year-to-year point-to-point for your account every year, we can reallocate those indexes and get in new indexes based on, how we want to reshuffle the deck on a year-to-year basis. And we do that for you here at Exclusive Annuities. If you're in our book of business, we help you manage the annual strategy. We meet quarterly, semi-annually, once a year, whenever you want to, really, and we review that with you. We help you set up your customer portal, get your policy packet sent out to you, and we stay right on top of it because obviously we want you to have, good returns in the policy. So first and foremost, we are going to pull up the illustration here based on how I designed it. I designed it off a 55-year-old male, right? You could be 60, 65, 70. These products make sense, especially the older that you get. So, that's basically 101 on how we would look at a product like this, placement inside of a portfolio. So this is the RetireVantage, right? I can go over the key terms. We like to do that a little bit more in detail on an actual strategy session. Like I said, it's a flexible premium annuity with penalty-free withdrawals of 10% a year, right? It's a 10-year annuity. Your death benefit is fully payable at death, right? Which is your actual account value, right? And the first thing we would look at is your index allocation lineup. So this is how we would blend, an account for one of our clients. Presumably, we would take a little bit more time and narrow down which strategy is correct for the specific client. But here's a general overview of how it would work. So that S&P 500 that we just looked at, that's an S&P 500 annual point-to-point with cap. Okay, so you're getting full participation in the S&P 500 up to 9% on an annual year-to-year point-to-point basis. As you see, I only allocated 2% of the portfolio to that option, and I blended it with other indexes, but for that particular portion, you can get up to 9% a year. So if the S&P does 12%, you'll get 9. That's how indexes work. Index annuities work. If we want the downside protection and no risk potential, right, we're not going to get all of the gains in the market, right? We're shooting for the companies and products with the highest rates of return, good caps, spreads, participation rates. 9% as of right now is competitive in this market. A lot of companies cap out on the S&P around 7, 8%. Midland National, this product, 9% on the annual cap. So we can get up to 9% on that portion. Like I said, we also have the S&P 500 inverse performance trigger. That's a 10% annual declared performance rate as well. And as you see, I only have 5% allocated to this particular bucket, but I have it up here to show you the concept of how we can allocate and diversify in this product. So that means if the S&P 500 is negative or it has a 0% return year, right? They would trigger you a 10% return based on how much of your portfolio you have allocated to it, right? Which in this scenario is 5. So you'd get a 0.5% return if only 5% of that allocation was geared towards the performance trigger. Obviously that's different for everybody. Some people like to allocate, hey, I want to put 30% in the performance trigger, 70% in the NASDAQ, or different ways that we can slice this annuity where we can guarantee protection on the downside. We can get a good minimum rate of return using that performance trigger, and we can also capitalize on upside performance in the market. So this S&P, the third one, annual point-to-point, you see how that says 45% participation. So there's no cap like the first one. The first one's only going to let you get up to 9%. This one, annual point to point, 45% participation rate. So there's no cap on the floodgate going up. So if the S&P 500, goes up to 20%, right, you would get 9% back, and so on and so forth, right? Same thing on the 2-year strategy. 2-year strategies, they always give a little bit more on the participation rate because you're holding for 2 years before the credit applies to your principal, but there you get a 60% participation rate. Now, what we really like about this particular product allocation is our exposure to the NASDAQ 100 Volatility Control Index 12, right? So on the 1-year strategy, there's no cap on the upside. You're getting 70% participation on the upside of that S&P index right there, right? Which is good, right? So if the S&P returns, 10%, you're at least getting 7% of that. If it returns 20%, you're at least getting 14% of that, and so on and so forth. That's on the 1-year point to point. On the 2-year point to point, we can capture 100% of that index's return. So just based on the individual, whether we're going to go a 2-year strategy or a 1-year strategy, but those are very, very favorable index allocations that we can allocate to in this particular product. So we really like to diversify and blend these. You also have the fixed account, which right now is 3.8%. And that's how it works from an allocation standpoint. We would blend that within the performance, and we would guarantee no downside risk, which is what an index annuity is supposed to do in your portfolio. So this is the guaranteed ledger. The guaranteed ledger is going to show you, hey, worst case scenario, if we get 0 or negative years all the way through, right? Your principal is protected, okay? Your asset can never go below 500,000. It contractually cannot happen. Principal protection, taking money and risk off the table in your retirement portfolio, right? And that's how that works. So worst case scenario, if the market goes backwards, your principal is intact. And I always tell people, if that were to happen, will you be glad that you have this, because everything else will look horrible, right? As far as market accounts, right? IRAs, money in the market, things like that. So, you do see your minimum guaranteed contract surrender value, right? At some point, it does get bigger than what you actually put in very early. So we like that as well. And that's how the guaranteed ledger works. So every company has to show you what it looks like if you get 0% returns. Now, what we like to hone in here on is the 10-year look back on how this product has performed based on the allocations that we chose over a 10-year period, last 10 years, most recent 10-year period. So as you see, right, the last 10 years, based on the allocations and the hypothetical look back, we averaged around 9%. That's why you see an annual effective rate of 9%. So you average 9% with no downside risk, no downside exposure. So to me, it's a win-win, right? Especially if there's no fees in the product and it's with an A+ rated company that's been around since 1906, right? And you can access funds up to 10%. There's no fees. There's liquidity there. There's no bonus up front. So when you have products like this with no cash bonus up front, don't get sold off of that. Typically, the products with the bonus up front pull back on participation rates and caps. For the most part, with most companies across the board here, the reason we're able to get those index allocations that we just looked at is because there's no enticing bonus up front. It's just straightforward accumulation of the asset over time. So if you see on the 10-year look back, right, on year 10, we more than doubled the asset, okay, with no risk. So the death benefit would also be the accumulated value. So if you do pass away, whatever's in the account value, you can take as would get paid out as a death benefit. That also skips probate in most scenarios with annuities as well. If it's Roth money, it pays out tax-free. Whenever you take a distribution off a Roth in this type of account, also tax-free. And pretty straightforward product, A+ rated company, great allocations, not a lot of bells and whistles. That's why we like to keep it simple for our clients. If it makes sense to go that route. And yeah, we co-sign this product. So 10% free withdrawals, no fees, great accumulation, no tricks, good company, A+ rated across the board. You can schedule in withdrawals as well in the account. I'll show you how that looks. So if you wanted to, take systematic income off the top, you have that 10% free withdrawal provision, right? And say we scheduled you to take out, 7% of your account, say on year 3 to year 7, you wanted to take out, partial withdrawals as income in the account, right? Which is a very popular strategy, taking interest as income, never touching the principal. Very popular strategy that we like to implement. We call it utility use and control of the asset itself, giving you flexibility to take partial withdrawals as income and never touch your principal. So, which means you have an asset, even after you're taking income. So that's really the best way to do it. If you have the right profile to exercise this strategy, you could do it all 10 years, right? Here I'm showing you what it would look like if you did it on year 3 to year 7, just to show an example, right? We have 500,000 that goes in, right? We have accumulation of the asset on the 10-year look back of 9% based on historical returns. And on year 3 through to year 7, we withdrew 7% off the top as interest and income, right? And we never touched the principal, which is the most important thing here, always, right? So you don't touch your principal, you have no downside risk. And by the time you're on the 10th year, even if you let it keep going, by year 13, you took out $200,000 in income, right? But you still have $1 million in the account by year 13, right? And this applies whether you're 60, 65, 70, 75. The cutoff for the product is 79. Doesn't change based on your age. Very straightforward product and great accumulation potential. And this is a really good company. So, if you think this is a good fit for you, if I showed this to you, I hope you're getting value of just understanding how the annuity works. It's pretty straightforward from a safe retirement standpoint, taking money off the table as far as risk. And we really like the product here at Exclusive Annuity. So that's how it would look if you took the partial withdrawal provision, which we like to exercise that. Like I said, utility use and control. That's really what we hone in here at Exclusive Annuities. And like I said, if you do want to have a customized report based on your situation, just fill out the link on our website, exclusiveannuities.com. You can go right on the first page and click speak to an advisor. It will bring you to me or my business partner, Brady's calendar. And it would allow you to book a time with us, right? And I can show you where that is here. If you guys go back to the website, you press speak to an advisor, it'll bring you right to my page. You just, as you see, I'm pretty booked up week to week. I do help about 20 to 30 families a month enroll into these type of products and shop the highest contractual guarantees for our clients. And we sit with you over a course of time and really determine the right strategy for you. That's the most important thing that we can do for you, serving you on your behalf. It's your hard-earned money. If you're looking into the annuity market, it's best to sit with an advisory like us because we can really point you in the right direction when it comes to the things to look out for in these products and which products that we would personally recommend and professionally recommend. So go on the calendar, pick a time. It's going to pull up my calendar. You punch in your name, last name, phone number, email. date of birth if you want to, state, you know, please show up to the appointment, and just add any notes. Hey, William, I was on your I was on your website, YouTube, looked interesting. I want to sit, have a 30-minute session, 20-minute session, and get a customized report. We can do that at any time. And we'd be more than happy to sit with you, and no charge for that as well. So, like I said, websites right here. My name is William. Today we went over the Midland National RetireVantage product. A+ rated company, been around for more than 100 years. Great financials, great strength, no fees in the product. Midland National RetireVantage 10. You can use qualified money, non-qualified money. It's very straightforward. There's no fees, 10% withdrawals, great allocations, and we'd be more than happy to dive a little bit more deeper into the product and other products as well. Like I said, this is just one of the plenty of companies and products that we would even consider for a client, but we put this material out to give you guys a general overview and break it down for you in a way that you understand. And then we also go through other policies with you, make sure we narrow down the correct fit. So again, my name is William Rapp. I'm owner of exclusiveannuities.com. You can always go to our website as well. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, make sure that you fill out our website and speak to me or Brady or anyone here on the page. And if you need more information, feel free to reach out. But it was a pleasure helping you guys today. Again, Midland National RetireVantage, and very straightforward product. Like I said, not a lot of bells and whistles, and really good company, really good product. And we hope that you guys got value today. So if you need anything from me, again, my name is William, President, exclusiveannuities.com. Thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and share to the page, the YouTube, and the website. And I hope to see you on a strategy session soon. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.